So he said my name correctly. He said Dever.
I have nothing to do with Karen Reed. Matter of fact, I didn't even know this person was associated with the Karen Reed case.
Since you filed the lawsuit, did you actually get the records?
72 hours, which is insane.
All right. A Sally Port is a garage, essentially.
Like, what do I have to do with the Karen Reed case? I never have said those words together.
As we clearly can see coming out of Cox's mouth, he denies any involvement with regard to Officer Dever.
What kind of relationship? A buddy-buddy relationship?
The same thing everybody wants, a real relationship.
A romantic relationship, Mr. Higgins?
It's possible.
Right.
I kissed gay Jeff.
High level, I'm from North Carolina. I went to Duke for undergrad.
This is Queen Hopkins, and she's leading the charge of getting all the documents relating to Karen Reed for which the government agencies are not providing. Let's watch.
And then I moved to New York, where I lived in the city for a really long time.
She lives in New York City. Be classy,
motherfucker.
Be classy,
fucker.
And then I went to law school. Now I do civil defense litigation, business litigation.
Just what we need, another attorney that lived in New York City.
Class action defense. I don't do criminal law. I have never been a criminal defense attorney, prosecutor, none of that. So when I got into sort of the Karen Reed obsession, I became increasingly obsessed. So I work all the time. I bill around the clock. I work 7 days a week. And somehow I could not let the Karen Reed trial go. And I just had to get sort of immersed in the Massachusetts nuances. And that is part of what led me to the Massachusetts public records law in the first place.
So they didn't do it at first, and then you filed a lawsuit?
Queen Hopkins makes various requests from various government agencies in Massachusetts. If they don't respond, she files a lawsuit. Let's see what happens.
How quickly, since you filed the lawsuit, did you actually get the records?
72 hours, which is insane. I thought that was actually wild.
Your name came up during the recent Karen Reed trial. You got a visit from Officer Kelly Dever.
This is Commissioner Cox. He's in charge of all Boston police officers. Let's listen.
The defense implied that you influenced your testimony. Do you want to respond to that?
I have nothing to do with Karen Reed. Matter of fact, I didn't even know this person was associated with the Karen Reed case. I have an organization full of over 3,000 people, and we support all our folks. And the reality is I get information passed on, whether people are high or low, and I encourage everyone, right? And if you're going to work.
During the second trial, when Officer Dever was called to the stand, the defense implicated that Dever told them that Cox said to her, do the right thing, implying that perhaps she should lie on the stand in order to cover up for her fellow brothers.
And you belong here, then we're going to encourage you. I have no idea what they're talking about with Karen Reed. It had nothing to do with Karen Reed. No discussion about Karen.
Did you tell Officer Dever to do the right thing?
I didn't know she was even associated with that case. You know, I don't know. I was struck. Like, what do I have to do with the Karen Reed case? I never have said those words together.
As we clearly can see coming out of Cox's mouth, he denies any involvement with regard to Officer Dever and claims he never even met with her.
And so the fact is, it's much to do about nothing. We have employees here that we have to develop and encourage and do things, and I do that for tons of our employees.
Do you feel that you were inappropriately drawn into this as some sort of boogeyman?
That case is over, and we've got a lot of other stuff to talk about. I have nothing to do with Karen Reed. I was in the state of Michigan. So.
Kelly Dever, last name Dever.
And there's the sweet princess Officer Dever taking the stand in trial 2. Let's listen.
How long had you known and been familiar with Brian Higgins?
Brian Higgins?
Could you recognize him if you saw him?
2.5 years later, no, but at the time, yes.
I'm not asking you about right now. I'm asking you back in January 2022. Could you recognize him by sight?
Yes.
Did you know who Kenneth Berkowitz was?
Yes.
Who is Kenneth Berkowitz?
He was the chief of the Canton Police.
Obviously very familiar with him. He was your boss.
Yes.
What's the Sally Port?
A Sally Port is a garage, essentially.
You're saying there would be cameras. I'm asking you, were there cameras?
According to the media, yes. I've seen the footage, so yes, there were cameras.
Officer Dever was working at the Canton Police Station on the night John O'Keefe was killed by Brian Higgins. She was actually at a desk for which she can see into the Sally Port garage.
You have to answer a question based on your own independent methods. Can't reference what you know from the movie.
All right. There were cameras in the Sally Port.
Do you remember being interviewed on August 9th, 2023? That was by a separate law enforcement agent.
The FBI.
Correct?
Yes.
Did you tell those law enforcement agents that you saw Brian Higgins and Chief Berkowitz go into the Sally Port together and alone with the SUV for a wildly long time?
That was my recollection at the time.
So you did say that?
At the time, that is what I recollected.
Okay.
When Brian Albert laid John O'Keefe's body next to the road on that morning, they had no idea they could potentially pin this on Karen. Once they found out that her taillight was broken, now Chief Berkowitz and old Higgy Bear had to act. It would have been too risky to involve Yuri Buchanan and that dope Proctor, because you never know if they're going to rat on you. That's why we know now it was old Berkowitz and Higgy Bear that were involved in planting that taillight.
Did you have any conversation with any other party about your potential involvement in this case?
No.
Did you have a conversation with anybody in the commissioner's office at Boston Police Department?
Not about anything malicious.
I didn't use the word malicious. Why do you say malicious?
I had a conversation, but it was my department saying, regardless of what I need to say on the stand, they support me.
Did you find it unusual that a rookie police officer would be called to the commissioner's office personally?
Nah, he meets with every new recruit.
It was a reflection of how good of a leader he is.
I have nothing to do with Karen Reed. Matter of fact, I didn't even know this person was associated with the Karen Reed case.
It was not anything that I found unusual, given the fact he is someone who wanted to show support for his officer.
I have no idea what they're talking about with Karen Reed. It had nothing to do with Karen Reed.
I'm guessing all of your training class or all of your entry classes in Boston PD, they've all gone up to the commissioner's office as well?
I don't know anyone else who's been in this particular circumstance.
When you went up to the commissioner's office, did you respond to his indication that he wanted to see you at his office?
It wasn't a direct line of contact from him.
Okay. Did you respond? Did you ultimately go? Did you go to his office?
He's my boss, so yes.
Who else was in that office?
Me and him, the two of us.
General counsel of the Boston Police Department?
No, it's just me and him.
At some point, did the commissioner say to you that Boston Police Department, insofar as your connection to this case is concerned, Boston Police Department fully supports you?
Yes.
Did he also say, do the right thing?
Did you tell Officer Dever to do the right thing?
I didn't know she was even associated with that case.
Huge indicator of deception by Cox here, because he didn't answer the yes or no question with a simple yes or no.
So, I don't know. I was struck. Like, what do I have to do with the Karen Reed case? I never have said those words together. And so the fact is, it's much to do about nothing.
That's a direct quote, so I can't recollect if he said a direct quote 2 years ago.
A year ago, when you talked to us, the defense, did you tell the defense that when you were called up to the commissioner's office, he told you two things? Commissioner Cox told you, number one, the Boston Police Department supports you, and Officer Dever, do the right thing.
So he said my name correctly? He said Dever?
That's not a mistake. Let's see, you want me to repeat the question so I can
So, Mr. Jackson, let's go ahead and answer, please.
Yes, and he said nothing with the intent of guiding me one way or the other.
What his intent was, madam. I asked you what he said to you. What were his words to you?
That he supports me.
And?
Just wanted me to tell the truth up here.
And his words were, do the right thing, right?
I don't recall.
How many other times have you testified in a court of law during the course of your job?
2 dozen, 3 dozen.
In any of those other cases, has Commissioner Michael Cox called you up to his office to discuss your testimony in any of those cases? Yes or no?
That's not a yes or a no answer.
Well, yes, it actually is, Ms. Dever. Do you understand the question?
The question, yes. The implication?
I'm asking you an open-ended question. In any of those cases, Officer Dever, not including this one, has Commissioner Michael Cox ordered you up to his office to discuss your testimony?
No.
Thank you.
I don't know. I was struck. Like, what do I have to do with the Karen Reed case? I never have said those words.
This Cox is a slippery one. He's mumbling and stumbling, trying to answer the question.
Appropriately drawn into this as some sort of boogeyman?
That case is over, and we've got a lot of other stuff to talk about. I have nothing to do with Karen Reed. I was in the state of Michigan.
While Commissioner Cox may think this case is over, old Queen Hopkins doesn't, and neither do I. Thanks to Queen Hopkins, we were able to obtain this document because of her lawsuit. Check it out. Not only does Officer Dever's testimony contradict Commissioner Cox, Here we have the FBI indicating in an email that they even spoke about her.
You know, I don't know. I was struck. Like, what do I have to do with a Karen Reed?
This email from the FBI to Commissioner Cox clearly indicates they were speaking about Deaver.
You got a visit from Officer Kelly Dever. The defense implied that you influenced her testimony. Do you want to respond to that?
I have nothing to do with Karen Reed. Matter of fact, I didn't even know this person was associated with a Karen Reed case. Matter of fact, I didn't even know this person was associated with a Karen Reed case.
And look what else Queen Hopkins obtained. The calendar entry that indicates Commissioner Cox was to meet with Kelly Dever between 11 and 12 p.m. on February 23rd, 2024. Amazing job by the Queen.
Matter of fact, I didn't even know this person was associated with a Karen Reed case.
Boston police officer who testified in Karen Reed's retrial has resigned. That officer is Kelly Dever.
So he said my name correctly? He said Dever?
Unfortunately for the sweet princess, she is no longer employed as a Boston police officer. However, she is critical in solving this crime because she witnessed Higgy Bear and Chief Berkowitz in the Sallyport garage. We now know who was able to actually see and obtain that taillight and then eventually plant it at 34 Fairview. There are only two reasons why Chief Berkowitz and Higgy Bear were in the Sallyport garage for an extraordinary amount of time. A, they were there to obtain taillight to eventually plant at 34 Fairview, or B,
I love you so much. I love you too.
regardless of the reason why these two were both caught in the Sallyport garage alone, we are not going to stop producing these videos until the real killer,
Brian Higgins,
is brought to justice.
What kind of relationship? A buddy-buddy relationship?
the same thing everybody wants, a real relationship.
A romantic relationship, Mr. Higgins?
It's possible.
Right.
I kissed gay Jeff. The same thing everybody wants. A real relationship. It's possible. Sending somebody flowers. It's possible.